Buongiorno, Lasagna Lovers, and welcome back to Sunday dinner. I have made for you a variety of different lasagnas, taking you on a virtual trip of Italy from north to south. Well, today we're back in the US of A, and we're eating our classic Italian-American 3-cheese lasagna. Who doesn't love that? We start with very simple ingredients. We have my classic red sauce, delish with San Marzano tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh herbs, extra virgin olive oil, and we have our 3 cheeses. How was our classic Italian-American 3-cheese lasagna born? Well, very simply, you know, Italians that came from Italy, like my family, my grandparents, all 4 of my grandparents who came, they came for need, right? For a better life in the United States. And what happened when they got here, they worked really hard and they found prosperity. So whereas in Italy, things like cheeses and meats were used sparingly, when they got to the United States and found the abbondanza of a wonderful life, we added more cheeses, more meats, more delicious products to our dishes. And this is how Italian-American lasagna was born. So let's start making it today. Everybody loves this. It's a classic dish. We start with my classic red sauce on the bottom, my recipes in my cookbook. Remember, you don't want to make the classic red? I made it for you. What's easier than that? Lisa's Italian Sunday dinner, classic red. Great on everything. The 3-cheese lasagna on pizza, tomato bread, anything you like. All right, we've got our classic red on the bottom. Of course, as you've seen me do many times, I've cooked my lasagna and I have them drying here underneath my cotton cloths from Italy. This is a wonderful way to ensure that you take the moisture out of your lasagna noodles and you don't have a watery or wet lasagna, which we've said many times we definitely don't want. And as I've said a number of times in making my other lasagne, like my lasagna al forno, which is the classic lasagna dish that we eat in Italy with the besciamella and the 3 meat sauce, which I've already made for you. And then, of course, the white lasagne with the prosciutto cotto and the fontina cheese and the besciamella. In those, just like today in the classic American, we do about 2 layers of the lasagna noodles or the pasta. And that is to make it risaltare. Oh, it tastes so good. As I've mentioned, I like to use the cieco lasagne. But you know, the cieco is #1 in Italy. But of course, there are lots of wonderful lasagna available in the United States from Italy, and most of them are very good. They're excellent, made with the durum wheat flour. So here we have a wonderful double layer of lasagna noodles on top of the classic red sauce. And now what I'm going to do is start with the creamy ricotta. So let's finish our ricotta mixture. The shredded mozzarella is plain. The king of all cheeses, the Parmigiano Reggiano, is plain and just grated. But when we take our 1.5 pounds of ricotta, I always use whole milk ricotta, like I always use the whole milk mozzarella. As I've said many times, don't like water in my lasagna. You lasagna lovers don't either. And this gives a creamy, thick, delicious lasagna. Like you saw with my other lasagna, when I lift this one up from the pan today, there will be no water. So here we have our 1.5 pounds of ricotta, to which I'm going to add 3 eggs. I'm using large eggs. This is going to give the ricotta a little more lift, if you will. It's going to make it fluffy and delicious. I like to add some salt and pepper and fresh parsley. Now, I don't add basil because I have fresh basil in my classic red tomato sauce. But my grandmother from Italy, my nana from Sicily, Caterina Leone, she always added fresh parsley to the ricotta part of the classic Italian-American 3-cheese lasagna. Oh, my nana was famous for this lasagna. We couldn't wait. When we would walk into her house, we would smell it cooking from the kitchen. We couldn't eat it. And I am so lucky to have her recipe. So let's just cut off some of this delicious parsley, Italian flat leaf parsley, and we're gonna cut it into the ricotta mixture. Then we're gonna add some salt and pepper, that's all. And we will start by layering the ricotta, then the mozzarella, then the parmigiano. What you get is the most delectable, creamy, delicious 3-cheese Italian-American lasagna. It's a classic for those of us who are Italian-American and grew up in the United States. So let's mix this. We add a little bit of ground black pepper to the ricotta. I have about a teaspoon and a half of salt to the ricotta, about a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Now, some people in Italian-American communities take their Parmigiano Reggiano right now and they add it to their ricotta, making just 2 cheeses in one and one less step. I don't do that. I keep it separate. What can I say? I'm a purist. I do what my Nonna taught me. So here we go with the ricotta. Look at that. Oh, so delicious. And of course you want to smooth it around so you get a bite of every cheese in every taste of the lasagna, right out to the corners. 1.5 pounds of ricotta is fine. Remember always, of course, to use the whole milk. Here we have our shredded whole milk mozzarella. I have about 1.5 pounds of that too. This 3-cheese Italian-American lasagna is not for the faint of heart. You come to the table hungry for this on Sundays in Italian-American households. It's a delicious, filling, wonderful dish. Now we have our 3 cheeses. Oh, the king of all cheese. Just the smell of Parmigiano Reggiano. It's unbelievable. This cheese makes every dish elegant. It can be the most simple pasta dish. Add Parmigiano Reggiano, elegantissimo. Okay, and now what are we going to do? We're going to add another layer of lasagna and repeat with our classic red, ricotta, mozzarella, Parmigiano Reggiano. So now I've filled my lasagna pan with my layers of lasagna noodles, my creamy ricotta with egg, parsley, salt, and pepper, my shredded mozzarella, and of course, my Parmigiano Reggiano. So for my last layer, I have a layer of the lasagna noodles. I've topped it with my classic red sauce, and we're going to finish the lasagna with shredded mozzarella. So delish, delicioso. And then, of course, a layer of the Parmigiano Reggiano on top of that. This is going to bake into a delicious golden crust on the top with all of your creamy layers inside. Now you'll notice I've used my glass lasagna pan today. It's just, I love this glass lasagna pan. So you can see all those layers inside. Just wait till I cook it and we cut it and you see how gorgeous each piece of lasagna will be. Italian, American, classic, 3-cheese lasagna. Abbondanza at its best. So another one of Lisa's tips for you when you're making a really abundant abbondanza lasagna like this 3-cheese or even the classic Italian lasagna al forno, the dish is so full it can sometimes bubble over. So I like to cook my lasagna on a cookie sheet or jelly roll pan, a cookie sheet with a lid. That way you don't have a messy oven when you're done. Into the oven we go. Here we are. The lasagna has cooked for 35 to 40 minutes because remember, your lasagna noodles were already partially cooked. I cooked my lasagna noodles before I assemble for 5 minutes or a few minutes less than what the package suggests. So look at this gorgeousness. After 35 minutes, bellissimo. You have the mozzarella and the Parmigiano that is almost caramelized on the top of the lasagna, the bubbling classic tomato. Inside, you have the creamy goodness of the ricotta. Look at all those layers. So we will let it sit for a few minutes, as you should always do with lasagna, and then we'll cut our first piece. Here we go. Ready to cut? I am. Let's get into our delicious Italian-American 3-cheese lasagna. We have our creamy ricotta, our shredded whole milk mozzarella, and of course, the king of all cheeses, Parmigiano Reggiano. Can't wait. 1, 2, 3. No water, just cheese. Look at that. Can you wait to eat this at your Sunday dinner? Buona domenica, lasagna lovers. Tutti a tavola. Buon appetito. Ciao, ciao.